that. Oh, that looks good. Hi guys, so today I'm gonna do a Mongolian dish that is part of this genre of covered stews or covered soups. The idea behind it is that you just cook whatever you normally cook, be it a soup or a stew, and then roll a piece of dough on top and just cook that all together. The reasoning is probably because you have to go and get fuel, you have to get fire, so when you cook, it is quite energy intensive. What you end up with is a bread that has kind of soaked up some of the liquid from the bottom. So it's a little bit of a different kind of meal. And for anybody that knows about Mongolian cuisine, you're gonna be like, oh, there's no way that you can make it vegan because everything is so meat heavy, everything is so dairy heavy. So I've had to make a couple of easy substitutes. So it's still gonna have all of the flavor, it's going to have the essence of the dish, and I'm quite excited about making it. I think what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna prepare all of my vegetables. So I have some carrots, I have some onions, I have some potatoes, and then I'm gonna deal with the tofu puffs. The interesting thing about how they prepare their vegetables is even with something like potatoes, they won't cut it up into small pieces. So they'll leave the potatoes whole when you put it in. Then I'm just gonna have the tofu puffs. They can be a little bit big, but when you have them, it exposes the spongy insides. And then that makes it better to absorb all of the flavors. Okay. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start the onions off first. What I'm going to do is to just heat this up with a little bit of water. You guys have seen me use that technique before. And just get a little bit of color on the onions before I put in everything else. Carrots. Put in tofu puffs. 2 cups of stock go in. Okay, so now I'm going to just work on my dough. So this is a little haphazard. I have about, I'd say like a cup of flour. Just gonna take some water and bring that together. No real recipe. Kneading it for a couple of minutes, just until it comes together. So what I'm going to do is this dough does need a little bit of resting before we roll it out. So I'm going to cover it up 10 to 15 minutes, and then that will give the potatoes a chance to just cook up a little bit more before we roll this out and then stick it right on top. Just testing out the potatoes right now, so They seem good. So I'm not gonna roll it out too thin, maybe, I don't know, 3/8 of an inch. So I do want it to kind of puff up. Moment of truth. Oh, look at that. Treat it like flatbread. You can treat it a little bit like noodles as well. So I hope you all have enjoyed making this veganized version of a traditional Mongolian dish with me, and definitely be sure to stay tuned because I have a somewhat of a similar Chinese dish, but it is done not with stew but with a drier mix. So it is still quite the showstopper. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I will see you guys again next time, and yeah, all right, bye.